Welcome to the channel, everybody. Make sure you're subscribed if you enjoy the content I'm throwing up, and don't forget to dragon fist that like button if you like it. And be sure to share this with a buddy who also enjoys Dragon Ball. And be sure to follow me on Twitch. I'm on there 3 days a week. Link in the description below. Alright, so let's get into the topic at hand. Today, we are going to introduce Super Saiyan 4 into Dragon Ball Super and attempt to tell a unique story that sets up a future arc in the series. And as we all know, Super Saiyan 4 was originally obtained by Goku in the Dragon Ball GT series. And Super Saiyan 4 is not like regular Super Saiyan forms. It is the pure primal essence of a Saiyan, the Ozaru Great Ape, condensed and controlled and refined to greatness. Without further ado, let's get into the story I created for Super Saiyan 4 being reintroduced in Dragon Ball Super. One day, Bulma is out searching for the Dragon Balls. The Dragon Radar brings her to a jungle, where she finds two monkeys fighting over the Dragon Ball. Bulma waits for her opportunity. The two monkeys ignored the Dragon Ball for a few moments. Bulma then goes to grab the Dragon Ball, and the monkeys freak out on her, turn around, bare their fangs, and scare the daylights out of Bulma. She then quickly turns and runs away with the Dragon Ball. The monkeys pursue her. The flashback was of when Bulma and Goku were little, and Goku transformed into the Great Ape. The flashback ends and we see one of the monkeys right behind Bulma, swiping at her, just barely missing, grabbing a piece of her shirt and ripping it away. Luckily unharmed, Bulma makes it to her vehicle and then calls it a day after having had such a close call. Later on, Bulma notices that her shirt was ripped. She didn't notice in the moment, but now she sees it, and the monkey had left some fur behind. She thinks back on the flashback she had again, and Bulma being Bulma, heads to the lab to start some analysis. Time lapses, and we skip to Bulma sneaking up on Vegeta while he's asleep. She plucks a hair from his head, and Vegeta jumps from his sleep with his usual temper. "What is wrong with you, woman?" She gives her signature smirk and says, "You know you're cute when you're angry, Vegeta. Go back to sleep." Vegeta scowls and turns away.
2 hours later.
Bulma calls Vegeta down to the lab, saying it's an emergency, and to hurry. Vegeta gets there, looking around ready to fight, only to see Bulma clacking away on the computer. "Look what I've discovered," she says.
"What am I looking at? Just spit it out already. What's this emergency you called me down for? And make it quick, I have training to do."
"Knowledge can be more powerful than effort alone, Vegeta. You think you'd have learned that by now. I am your wife, after all."
Out with it already.
I had a flashback earlier of when Goku was little, and he transformed into the Great Ape, and how scary it was. And it got me thinking. So I took some ape DNA and compared it to yours. The results are insane. Long story short, Vegeta, I rebuilt your DNA from the ground up in this simulator to see what would happen. This is you with a tail, and this is you without a tail.
What does this mean, Bulma?
These numbers show that Saiyans who lose their tails will only be able to achieve a fraction of the strength compared to a Saiyan who keeps their tail.
Are you serious? Then what are you waiting for? Summon Shenron immediately so I can wish it back.
Not so fast, Vegeta. I've been gathering the Dragon Balls already, and I have plans.
Selfish woman, why go through all this trouble if...
Here! Bulma throws something at Vegeta. It was a pill. He caught it and sniffed it. "Oh, this smells awful."
What is this?
Bulma then explains how she found a way to grow a Saiyan's tail back organically, and that they can apparently grow their tails back indefinitely as long as they know how. She then explains that based on the DNA simulator, she made a synthetic version of a plant that only grows on planet Vegeta, which is obviously extinct now. Vegeta takes the pill. Immediately, we see a tail sprout from Vegeta's backside, ripping right through his pants. Bulma exclaimed, "Yes!" and did a happy dance. as she then started rambling about how smart she was and how Vegeta needs to thank her. The camera zooms and pans over Vegeta's face. He's clearly in awe.
This feeling. It's like I was missing a piece of myself, but now I'm complete. If I could only learn to control this new form, if I could control the Ozaru, then maybe.
Vegeta looks angry, and Bulma says, "Not to worry. We got this under control."
You do understand how dangerous this is. Trying to train and control it. Not very smart.
Vegeta looks to see Bulma leaning out of the fridge. She pulls out a giant ice cream cake with candy all over it. And he says, "You really are a genius, you know that?" "Yep," Bulma says. So then Bulma bribes Whis to come down to earth, as usual, with a delectable delight he has yet to feast upon. Whis asks what's the catch, and Bulma just tells him it's for Vegeta. And Whis is on top of it, doesn't hesitate, comes down. When Whis arrives, Vegeta and Bulma both explain why they need a safe environment to train. Whis says, "I have the perfect place," and then they were off. Once they get to the new world, Whis puts Vegeta through an intense training montage. From tail exercises to pain endurance, they did everything in their power to remove any weakness of having a tail. The show then focuses on other characters for a few episodes, and then comes back to Vegeta and Whis training, showing that a time lapse has happened. And now we find that Vegeta has absolutely no weakness with his tail, and instead, it is just an extra deadly weapon to utilize. Whis also chose this planet due to the fact that it had multiple moons that were visible 24/7, thus making it impossible for Vegeta not to turn into the Great Ape, thus making him have to control it. He had to learn. So now instead of the Ozaru bursting forward and controlling Vegeta, Vegeta now controlled it, and it created a surge of power that ran through his veins like no other. Whis then instructs Vegeta to focus inward, focus on that Ozaru state, channel it. Instead of raising your ki level, do not raise your ki at all. Focus the Ozaru and try to raise it as if it were your ki. Transcend yourself. Visualize what you want to become and mold yourself into that. Now instead of just taming the beast, you must work with the beast. You must become unified, working together. Only then, Vegeta, will you attain a new level. So Vegeta sat down and meditated, focused inward. The camera pans over Vegeta, then pans back to Whis, then back to Vegeta again. Suddenly, he opened his eyes, revealing a glowing aura within them. With his eyes glowing red, Vegeta stands up, thrashing, struggling to keep himself under control. Vegeta grits his teeth, showing his canines growing as he struggles. His hair also begins to change. The camera cuts back to Whis, showing him smiling. The camera cuts back to Vegeta, and all we see is a glowing silhouette of his body in a bright green light. And it's not a typical ki-generated aura, it's just a light coming straight off of his body, only in the shape of his silhouette. Suddenly, the light shatters, and it falls to the floor, revealing the new form of Vegeta underneath.
Well, what do you think, Whis? I think I'll call this form Saiyan Prime.
This new form is now the ultimate in Saiyan achievement. All of the Saiyan's energy is utilized to its optimacy. There is no external leakage of ki. Vegeta finds that he can maintain this form indefinitely if he so wishes. It is just like walking around in his base form, making this form the ultimate combination of strength, speed, and stamina. Vegeta asks Whis if he can test his powers to their fullest extent on this world. Whis tells him there are no inhabited planets nearby, so he may do as he pleases. Vegeta then warps to one of the nearby moons, extending his arm. He flicks the moon, and it explodes. then warping back to Whis, he says, "Thank you." So that's my What If Dragon Ball Super Future Arc video, guys. If you were wondering, the reason I went with green as the color is because the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, they hint at this with the whole green aspect and Paragus mentioning it. So that's why I chose that. They could make it any color they want. The red is fine, or they could just switch it up and do something new. It would be amazing either way. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. I'm out.